it's entirely packed with special effects, so it's very exciting. Lots of challenges. Every second page was another effect, another gag to be prepped and shot. So it was quite nice to read that kind of script. It was exactly what I was expecting from Roland. Large effects like huge tip tanks, zero-G rigs for space, riot scenes with burning semi-trucks. It was very challenging, and every time I would ask him, is this a live effect or are we going VFX? You know, every time he wanted some live action, and that gives him a very solid base for building the visual effects around, and it was well appreciated to have the opportunity to do all those live effects on set. That was basically a very large, a quite large steel tower with 2 dump tanks on it, hydraulically actuated, and we had 7,000 gallons of water coming down onto a ramp right into the lobby of the hotel. The big challenge was to manage the weight of all this water, get it in the right place, and make sure the set wouldn't leak. So we had to make the set basically a pool that would contain all this water over and over to build up a level of water within the set so we could shoot the escape from that tsunami wave. That started by building the shuttles. We were working with construction, art department, to fabricate these shuttles. They had to be modular to weld all the walls so we could shoot within the shuttle. They were not that big. And then we had to motivate these shuttles so that we could create vibration. We could tilt them up to a launch position. So hydraulics, pneumatics, we call them shaky decks and tilting decks were built to position the shuttle and give it some action so that the actors could react to vibration and impact and different levels of inclination. Then within the shuttle, we had to fly these people as if they were in zero-G. So we put together a motion control robot fly rig so we could hook up our astronauts, our talent, to these flying rigs, and we could pre-program all the moves ahead of time and play them over and over again so that the actors could easily find their way within the same move. We were not guessing the move, so the actors could really get into the motion and not have to do too many takes in flying suits. Well, the shuttle itself was on what we call a shaky deck. It's hydraulically actuated, and this is just vibrations and impacts, and we control it with motion controllers and hydraulic valves. This allows us to repeat the same action over and over again, and we can adjust that action to the liking of Roland, our director, so that he gets the right amount of shake at the right time during the scene. We had the replica shuttle that was used on the motion base as well, and that was great for getting to the moon. So we shook that, we tilted it up to 45 degrees, brought it back down, and then up in space they went into the lander and rover part of the shuttle, and that's where we did the same thing with the shaky decks, and we had all sorts of different scenes to be shot in the mid deck between the shuttle and these landing modules, and that was quite a lot of fun to work on that because we had all sorts of rigs to create airlocks opening up and wire works at the same time and lighting effects that went round and round to simulate the shuttle being in a spin on itself. So that was very interesting. First of all, we had a huge military vehicle, had to push a boat that was a 30-foot yacht out of the way. So there was a lot of rigging involved there. And then we had all the Humvees that were preceding the shuttle. The yacht was a lot bigger than we expected it to be, and we had to move it a lot farther than expected because Roland saw a shot he could get with that, revealing the shuttle behind it. So we brought in a hydraulic winch to winch it in its last position. We had to solidify the whole thing because it was a fiberglass yacht that would have fell to pieces after 2 takes. So we had to put some roll cages within it. And the truck that was pushing it had to be in contact with it, so we tied the truck to the yacht, and we had cable cutters to release it when he pulled back and moved on further down the scene. Roland came up to me and asked me to create a car chase on stage. So I said, okay, that's interesting. So poor man process car chase on stage with 3 cars. So these cars are bumping each other, or shooting at each other out the window, and they're driving in rough terrain. And okay, I said, let me see, how can I do that? You can put these cars on casters, but they won't be shaking and they won't be able to move sideways. So we decided to put the cars on air skids. Basically, we had some hovercraft technology platforms with actuators that could shake the cars, and we could move all these cars around with hydraulic winches. And this allowed us to create a very realistic chase with all the motion of the vehicles going up and down and hitting each other and shaking. So we had 7 axes of control on our astronauts that were in flying harnesses. So we could have them travel, rotate, and tilt in every which way. And we could repeat that. And that was, to me, the only way to get these scenes shot in the amount of time we had. So we were not rehearsing any motion on set. We were just rehearsing the acting, basically. And when we had the acting down, the motion stayed the same, and it made it possible to get through these scenes in the amount of time we had to.